What's goody? Yo, what's good, my people? How y'all been? How y'all been? It has been a minute, huh? But not as long as the last time. I made sure to keep the hiatus low this time, Came back for you guys, and this time came with some more truth. Some more truth. I want to get into the concept of mother and divine son worship, mother and son worship. And this is a concept or an image or an idea, concept or religion, whatever you want to call it. This is something we see a lot in the Roman Catholic Church, right? I've been doing a little digging, and it appears that this idea of the mother, holy mother, and the divine child or divine son, it it appears across many religions, so to say. It appears across Babylonian religion. Uh, it appears across Greek religions. It appears across even Chinese religions, Indian religions. It appears across Egyptian religions, and this goes back this goes back centuries, man, years, hundreds of years. You know, the Roman Catholic Church likes to claim that the Divine Mother or Mary or Queen of Heaven, um, that's Mary, referring to Mary, Mother of Jesus. It likes to depict her as a god or a goddess, because she gave birth to the Holy Son or the Savior Christ, right? And because of that, they've deified her. They've made her to be, a god, so to say. And that's one of the main ideas that I want to tackle in this video. Apart from, well, including mother and divine son worship. So the main concept here is Queen of Heaven, right? Queen of Heaven, referring to Mary, or this goddess figure that we are yet to understand. So to get started, let's get this definition straight. All right, Queen of Heaven is one of the many queen titles used by Mary, Mother of Jesus. The title derived in part from the ancient Catholic teaching that Mary, at the end of her earthly life, was bodily and spiritually assumed into heaven, and that she is honored as queen. Pius the 12th explained the theological reasons for her title of queen in a radio message to Fatima of May 13, 1946. And it says, he, the Son of God, reflects on his heavenly mother glory, majesty, and the dominion of his kingship, for having been associated to the King of Martyrs in the work of human redemption as mother and cooperator. She remains forever associated to him with a practically unlimited power in the distribution of the graces which flow from the redemption. Jesus is king throughout all eternity by nature and by right of conquest, through him, with him, and subordinate to him. Mary is queen by grace, by divine relationship, by right of conquest, and by singular choice of the Most High. Like I said before, because she gave birth to the eternal king. Right? Okay. So, this Mary figure is the Queen of Heaven. We got that down. She gave birth to the eternal king. And just to illustrate that, I have some images that you guys are probably familiar with. Here's an image of the Virgin Mary and the child, supposedly, allegedly, being Jesus Christ. And I got some more images. Here's another one. More images of the Divine Mother and the Divine Son. Now, based off this image here alone, you can see that the same image, the same concept, the same belief comes in different formats from different religions across the world, right? And that's because concepts of the mother and the divine child were recognized around the world including India, Babylon, Egypt, Rome, Greece, China, and Japan. So in Egypt, the mother and child was Isis and Osiris. And that's not only a mother and child relationship, but also a mother and husband relationship. So the divine son also served as not only as her son, but as her husband as well, in a confounding, confusing, contorted sense. All right, in India, this relationship or this same image was referred to as Isi and Iswara. In Asia, it was referred to as Cybele and Deos. In Rome, it was referred to as Fortuna or Nike, the goddess of victory, and Jupiter. In Greece, it was referred to as Ceres or Irene and baby Pluto. And then in China, it was referred to as Shing-Moo and the child. And this is what these images are, just variations of these relationships. Of course, this is Isis. Not sure who these two are. We got another one. This is Madonna. And if that is the Rome church, then that is probably Jupiter. Of course, this is Irene, or in other words, Ceres, and baby Pluto. This one's the Indian faction of it, Isi and the Swara. That is the Babylonian fraction of it, Semiramis and Tammuz. The Roman version of it, Madonna or Mary, and the child. So you see what I'm trying to get at. You see the point I'm trying to bear across. This being pretty much the same ish, just a different toilet. You know, the same imagery, the same belief system, the same mystery system, just a different language, just in a different language. And the last one I already showed you this one, pretty much Isis and Osiris. All right, so back to this mysterious Virgin Mary figure and this baby sitting on her lap. Looks more like a small man than a baby, but I guess hey, the artists just weren't. They just didn't have it popping like that as back in the day. Anyways, what do we get here from the Virgin Mary? Who is this character? I just want to read a little precept here about just to illustrate a bit of her background and a bit of references from the scriptures about her. So, there is a reference in the Old Testament by the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah 7, verse 18, to a pagan goddess called the Queen of Heaven, and rites performed to her. Some scholars have linked the Queen of Heaven mentioned here to ancient goddesses such as Ishtar, Astarte, and Anat, who are all the same being, by the way. Same being, just a different language, just a different country, a different nation, a different people, a different corner of the world. Though assimilation was a common practice in ancient pagan religions, so it is possible Queen of Heaven is a generational title given for goddess worship. This reference to the Queen of Heaven in Jeremiah does not appear to have any link to Catholicism, and the title they give to Mary. Though it is interesting that this passage in Jeremiah is giving a warning about idol worship, and that is what many Protestant Christians would want Catholics of with their veneration of Mary. All right, so we hear that the lines are starting to be drawn here. Okay, we read that this title of Queen of Heaven is not only being assigned to Mary, Mother of Jesus, but also assigned to this ancient goddess who the Israelites would commit pagan rituals and sacrifices for in terms of veneration. When they did this, they were going against the Most High's will, and that's what the prophet Jeremiah was speaking against in the book of Jeremiah. That happened. They were worshiping a pagan goddess called the Queen of Heaven. Right? All right, let's continue. So I have here another document that delves into where we can else find the title Queen of Heaven being asserted to in the scriptures, apart from Mary. So this looks at a little towards who was referred to as the Queen of Heaven. All right, so the Queen of Heaven is mentioned twice in the Bible, and in both passages, she is associated with Israelites' idolatry practice, which angered the Lord in Jeremiah 7, verse 18. The Queen of Heaven was an Assyrian and Babylonian goddess of fertility, also called Ashtoreth. The latter was worshipped by pagan civilizations, but unfortunately, it gradually became popular among the Israelites as well. In the second passage, Jeremiah warned the Israelites of God's punishments awaiting them because of their disobedience and idolatry. But they responded that they did not intend to abandon their idol worship, but that they would continue to drink and offer to the Queen of Heaven and Ashtoreth. In this pagan culture, the Queen of Heaven, commonly called Ashtoreth in the Bible, was none other than the Semiramis, son of Nimrod. In this pagan culture, the Queen of Heaven was none other than Semiramis, the wife of Nimrod, known as a false god, Baal. And so, for those of you who don't know, Nimrod is grandson or great grandson of Noah. So Noah begat 3 sons, right? He begat Shem, Ham, and Japhet. And Nimrod comes from the line of Ham. Ham begat Cush. Yes, Ham begat Cush. And then Cush begat Nimrod. And then Nimrod was pretty much the first God king, the first king who asserted himself as God after the flood. And I guess when people saw his wealth, they believed him and said, oh, this nigga must really be a god if he's this rich. And that's pretty much where the term Lucifer, or the devil, or Baal came from. It started with this man right here, the one who built the Tower of Babylon. He was pretty much not the founder, but the greatest source of information when it came to witchcraft and devil worship. And that's a lot of Luciferian comes from him. So, okay, they're already describing it. Nimrod was the great grandson of Noah, as the first on earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before the Most High. His kingdom began in Babylon, Erech, Assad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went forth into Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen, which is in between Nineveh and the great city of Calah. He is linked to the construction of the Tower of Babel, or the Tower of Babylon, and was associated with the Nephilim, who are called mighty men. I gotta look at that, man. I gotta look at that. A lot of people have been telling me crazy, weird stories about Nephilim. I don't know. I digress. I digress. Other references to Nimrod were found in Micah 5 verse 6, where Assyria is called the land of Nimrod, and in 1 Chronicles 1 to 10, 1 verse 10, which reiterates his power. After founding mighty cities, Nimrod established state worship and paganism, which even included human sacrifice and more. He was deified as a father of the gods and was given the title of emancipator of deliverer of mankind. Baal or Bel is a name meaning Lord in the Babylonian language, which the Assyrians attributed to Nimrod when he was deified after his death. Now, and remember that. He was deified after his death. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to give you a little spoiler. His wife, Semiramis, she's the one who deified him. And we'll get there to explain that. So, in that idolatrous civilization, the story of how Semiramis became Queen of Heaven is probably popular. When Nimrod died, Semiramis claimed that his husband ascended to the sun and became the sun god. the sun god being Baal, or Lucifer, the god of light, or Tammuz, the god of fire. You see where these things are coming from now? So, nearly the death of Nimrod, Semiramis became pregnant after engaging in an adulterous extramarital affair. Oh, she was a freak. In an effort to retain power. Yeah, look at that, bro. Man, yo, side note, bro. These women, they really love you, bro. They really love you. Once you can't serve her anymore, or sometimes you can even give her the world. This guy, Nimrod, he was a king. He ruled over so many kingdoms and nations. He was probably one of the richest men in the world at that time, but it still wasn't enough for her love. She still cheated. She still had an extramarital affair. And let that be a lesson, man. A woman will never give her heart to you. She will say that she loves you, but that's only conditional. When you don't serve her anymore, when you don't have that thing that attracted her to you anymore, she'll stop loving you. Even the scriptures say. Even the scriptures say. I remember Paul said it. He said, "May you love your wife, and in turn, may she respect you." He did not say, "And in turn, may she love you," because even in those days, they understood very well that the woman was not capable of that kind of love. The only person that a woman will love unconditionally is her child, is her baby, and that's it. A woman will never love you. That's not to say that you should not marry. It is not wrong to marry, as long as that woman respects you, as long as that woman is obedient and loyal. You know, she doesn't have to love you, but she has to respect you. Anyways, um, all right. So, in an effort to retain power and to hide her misdeeds, oh, that's another story right there. How the woman will lie to cover up her own filth. But anyways, hide her misdeeds and elevate herself to a revered position. Semiramis made another bold claim that she had been meticulously visited by the spirit of her husband who impregnated her. This child, whom she claimed to be the reincarnated Nimrod or Baal, was called Tammuz, and Semiramis thus became both the wife and mother of Nimrod. To confirm her deity, Semiramis took advantage of her husband's death to proclaim that she was a goddess, descended from the moon in a moon egg that dropped into the Euphrates, or the first full moon after the spring equinox. She was indeed the moon god, in a word. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz formed an idolatrous trinity. And this sounds familiar, the Trinity, the Mother, the Father, the Mother, and the Son. This abomination is condemned in Ezekiel 8, verse 14 to 17. After taking over from her husband as the Queen of Babylon, Semiramis was well known for her building projects and military exploits. She was also referred to as the goddess of fortifications, meaning the goddess of towers, the goddess of skyscrapers, the towers that we see today in first world cities across the world. Apparently, she's the one who started that. You know, that's that's wild. That's wild. Anyway, after her husband's death, it is said that she conquered much of Asia, Libya, and Ethiopia, and was wounded in battle against the king of India. There are many myths and stories attributing great accomplishments to Semiramis during her reign as Babylonian queen. For example, the name of the ancient Armenian city. For example, the name of the ancient Armenian city, Shamiramagerd, means created by Semiramis. Huh. Beyond the political sphere, the famous Queen of Babylon continued her husband's rebellious ambitions of building a polytheistic system based on the stars. Whoa, whoa, that's wow. I actually didn't know that. They based those towers on stars. So, the goddess Semiramis was also known as Ishtar, Astarte, Ashtoreth. Side note, Ishtar and Astarte, these are the origins for the word Easter. Ishtar, Easter, the Eastern Star. And that is the origin of the holiday Easter. It's in venerating of this woman right here, Semiramis, and not the birth of Yahweh Shai. So, Semiramis was also known as Ishtar, Astarte, Ashtoreth, the original queen of heaven. The original queen of heaven. You see that? She was the original queen of heaven. Her son Tammuz joined her in creating the world's first mother-son cult. The cult spread to Egypt as Isis and Osiris, there you go, Venus and Adonis in Greece, and Ushas and Vishnu in Hinduism. The Catholic Church has adapted mother-son worship to its veneration of Mary, perhaps the most blatant idolatry in Catholicism. Although the practice of veneration of Mary is not biblical, Catholics have made their way by deifying Mary, the mother of Jesus, and attributing her to various Semiramis attributes that make her venerable. Some of these attributes include, but are not limited to, making her a virgin unto death and denying that she ever had any children other than Jesus. These teachings, being in contradiction with what the Bible teaches, they aim to attribute to Mary the attribute of Semiramis of being a virgin forever. Calling Mary queen when she never had such a title, and making her holy throughout the false concept of immaculate conception, both aim to elevate her to the rank of a venerated deity. So, there you have it for the most part. This Queen of Heaven figure, not just referring to Mary, but also referring to, Semiramis, Nimrod's wife, the one who rebelled blatantly against the Most High. And this pagan system, this false rhetoric has been passed down as a cult, of course, for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years, and has been adapted or adopted into Roman Catholicism. And, when it comes to the higher ups, the priests, the Pope, they know about this. Those guys are devil worshippers. The Pope is the most authoritative figure in witchcraft. Behind the curtain, they all know him as that, whether it be a celebrity or politicians, or European royal families. They all know who the Pope is. They all know the rituals and the sacrifices he commits back behind closed doors. But on the surface, him being world famous, we know him as, the middleman between man and the Most High. But the God of the scriptures is not his God. And that is pretty much what I wanted to express to you guys today about being aware, of these things that are right in front of us, but we just don't understand. We just don't know, We look at these things right in front of our faces and assume it's God, but it's not God. It's not his truth. It's the devil working his ways. I've said this before. The devil is an expert. He's a master liar. So many things that go over our heads that have nothing to do with the Most High. So I just want to play my part and help you guys find truth. If you've been groomed, or you grew up in Roman Catholicism, I hope this truth hurts in the right way. I hope it's a revelation and an opportunity for you to start a journey of truth on your own. And yeah, man, you guys, I hope you guys keep praying. I hope you guys keep asking the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man, and also strength, because, man, this life will get to you, man. So many distractions in this life, not just women, but finances, bills, potential, fear. Not fear of the supernatural, but more so fear of losing your place in life, but I'm just venting, man. I'm just talking about things that I probably I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another video, and I just want to thank you guys for listening. You know, I know these videos don't do more than 5 to 10 people per video, and that's okay because I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this for popularity. I'm not doing this for streams. I'm doing this to spread truth. I'm doing this to spread the gospel, you know. So whether it be 5 people or 500 people, I would rather have 5 genuine listeners than 500 people who listen to it and then just be like, okay, whatever, So thank you guys.